Well, what is up, y'all? Headed to the gym now. This is the start of a new month for me as far as my workouts go. So this is my high rep week, so my hypertrophy week, I guess you can say. I don't know, I hate buzzwords like that. But it's a hypertrophy week because I'm trying to work my way back up to powerlifting in a way that's sustainable and that I'm not going to hurt myself. And so I'm putting on that muscle mass again, and I'm working myself up to it by doing 2 weeks of higher reps and then 2 weeks of lower reps. In the lower rep weeks, we'll obviously have higher weight. So unfortunately for me and the soreness that I'm about to endure over the next 2 to 5 days because of this, I'm going to do chest, triceps, and some calves today. And probably going to do 3 to 4 sets of each exercise at 12 to 15 reps. Hopefully going to work up to like failure on those reps, but we'll see. But today I also wanted to talk about something a little bit more specific than just the workout. You know, like, yes, these are workout vlogs. Going to have the workout footage and stuff going here as well. But I wanted to talk about something a little bit different today, which is more along the lines of like what my goals are and why I'm not chasing some, perfect physique or what influencers want you to think is like the perfect physique and how you should be doing this exercise and that exercise just to get, bigger pecs or huge biceps and so on and so forth, which don't get me wrong, all of that is cool as hell. Not gonna lie. But it's also not all that realistic for, 90% of people. Especially if you're my age. If you're over 30 at this point and you're just getting back into fitness or you're getting into fitness for the first time, maybe we shouldn't be following all the bro science and bodybuilding stuff that's out there. I don't know. That's just my thing. Again, take all this with a grain of salt. I am not a doctor. I am working on becoming a certified personal trainer. But what does that mean at the end of the day, if we're being real? But yeah, before we get all of that started, let's go ahead and get into this chest and triceps workout, shall we? It's gonna be a good day today. I can already feel it. So let's get it. Let's get it. Made for the climate, forging a fire. They want us to fall, we taking it higher. Temperature rising, I'm a survivor. The temperature rising, I'm a survivor. Made for the climate, forging a fire. They want us to fall, we taking it higher. Yeah, we're gonna do 100 pounds right now. Last month we did 89 pounds for 4 sets of 12, and it was rough. Like, that was my first week back hitting chest in high reps, and yeah, it wasn't great. So let's see how this feels. I feel like I probably should have warmed up a little bit better, but oh well, we'll feel it out. All right, not bad. Not bad at all. But yeah, 100 pounds didn't feel terrible on that. I thought that I would feel pretty crappy going up in weight, but it makes sense after doing a whole month of being back here in the gym and lifting consistently that it didn't feel too bad. So we'll see how I feel 4 sets into it though. And we're going to do a rest pause set at the end, which for those that don't know, a rest pause is simply 15 to 20 seconds after your last set, you go again until failure. I'm not going to go to real failure because gym is mostly empty today. I don't have anybody to spot me. So, man, I don't want somebody spotting me on 100 pounds either. Whoa, almost cracked my watch. Gotta watch out for that kind of stuff. No pun intended. Let's go ahead, set 2.
I got it. Line on my enemies, watch how they dropping. Stop it. Treat my mentality like I'm psychotic. Iconic. My word is my bond, I'm keeping my promise. I got this. We fall just to get up as part of the process. Don't stop it. The temperature rising, I'm a survivor.
Alright, so for incline bench press, dumbbell bench press, I should say, okay, we're gonna do 30 pounds by 12 to 15 reps. But we need some music on here now. Y'all won't be able to hear this, but today's playlist is Angel Maker by Angel Maker. So I was feeling some death metal / deathcore today, and I'm not gonna make the rest of the gym listen to that. So I'm gonna put it on for myself. Let's get it. Let's see how these feel.
I got it. Line on my enemies, watch how they dropping. Stop it. Treat my mentality like I'm psychotic.
Oh my God. I did those wrong. I had a 30 for one and a 35 for the other. That's annoying. Let's switch to just 35 then, I guess. All right, let's do a couple of extra reps to tire out that right side. Oh, that's hard. Okay, that's enough of that. Man, I hate when I do that. It's so annoying. Well, at least now we can know that we can do 35s for roughly 15 reps. I know it's a little bit different, but we're gonna claim it. All right, now we got to end our workout and everything. I've been using the Strong app for a while, not affiliated with them whatsoever. Just a good app to track my workouts with. So I got to end it there and end it on my watch as well. Rate my effort, moderate, heavy moderate. I'm sweating and I'm shaking a little bit. Whew, but that was a hell of a chest and triceps workout. And I definitely feel like I completed it all like pretty damn well. Like I got through all of my sets. Got to like almost failure on some. Again, I wasn't trying to get to like true failure just because of the fact that I don't have a spotter or anybody that's there with me. So don't want to actually hit true failure, you know? So not about that life, not about to hurt myself at the gym. No ego lifting here. You saw that was some pretty light weights that we were hitting. But today has reminded me strength it's really all relative, right? When it comes down to how strong a person is, it's not a competition. I mean, there are actual strength competitions, don't get me wrong. I want to compete in one later this year. So there are actual strength competitions, but that's not what this is all about. Like, I don't need to be shredded. I just want to be strong. I just want to be fit. I want to be able to, walk up a flight of stairs without being out of breath. And I also want to be able to, lift heavy weights over my head. I want to be able to be mobile and strong and have good bone structure and everything when I'm older. I don't want to be a liability to people. I don't want to be a burden on my wife when we're older. And that's what I'm working towards right now. So no, I'm not working towards being shredded. I think that with all of the Fitspo and influencers and everything going on out there, yes, them being in such great physical shape is, in my opinion, a good example. Everybody should be trying to get into shape. Everybody should be trying to lower their body fat percentage to make themselves healthier. But not at the expense of, your life. I want to go out to a brewery with my wife every now and again, I want to go and eat that big fat cheeseburger. I want to have a good time and be here for a long time. I can do both, like it can happen. You can do both. But the whole fitness culture thing, it hasn't really changed since the last time I did all of this. Remember in my last episode, I showed you all that I lost over 120 pounds, right? Lost a lot of weight. And I was knee deep in the fitness culture back then. I was buying the damn egg white protein drinks. I was going to the Fit Expo. I was posting on Instagram and everything constantly. I was knee deep in that stuff. And I lost a lot of weight. I got my version of shredded. I had a lot of extra skin from losing all that extra weight. But I got my version of shredded and I took it too far. I took it way too far. I kept counting calories. I kept cutting calories because I found out that it was the only way I could continue to lose weight while I was working out as hard as I was. I had to keep cutting calories. And it just got to a point where I think I got so low in weight that I felt sick. I felt unhealthy. And everybody's like, damn, Ryan, you look so good. You look great. I'm like, really? Because I feel weak as hell. Like I feel constantly weak. I feel tired. And it wasn't until that finally snapped. I started eating better, started eating more, and I started keeping my macros at normal levels for maintenance levels for a guy my size. And that's when everything started to feel quite a bit better. And it was one of those epiphanies for me where I thought that I just needed to be skinny and ripped, right? And shredded. But the thing is I was actually working against my body at that point. That's not how my body wanted to live. That's not how I felt most confident and comfortable. In fact, I hated the way that I looked at that point too. And as I said, I obviously hated how I felt. And that's when I first got into powerlifting. And that's when I first left behind the Fitspo and the bro science and all the bodybuilding crap. And powerlifting kind of really uplifted me. It was one of those things where you're eating to fuel your body. You're not eating to get shredded. You're not eating to reach a certain body fat percentage. And that felt good. My workouts never felt better than right after I started eating that way. And that's when I told myself, I will never let that happen again. I also told myself I never let myself gain all that weight again, which that was a lie. We gained some weight back. Obviously, we're looking at that right now. We gained the weight back. Not all of it, but this time around, I know what not to do for my personal goals. I know what to do for my personal goals, but I also know what not to do for my personal goals. And that's a huge, huge thing that a lot of people don't realize is that when you're following somebody else's advice, you're most likely following what they did to get to their goals, but you aren't them. You're nowhere near them. You're nothing like them. Your body, your physiology, your biology, everything is completely different than that person. So why are you following everything that they say like it's a religion? You know, it doesn't matter if it's Mr. Olympia or not. You're not Mr. Olympia. If your goal is to get there, then sure, you might want to follow some of that advice, but you might want to seek out a professional that's actually good at, you know, setting up a program for an individual person and not just basing it off of what they did to get to where they're at. Because that's what all of these fitness influencers are. They're just people that are telling you their story and making it seem like it's the way that you can do what they did. And it's not. That's why it usually fails. And no, I am not about to tell you that I'm going to sell you a plan or anything like that. I have no workout programs to sell you. I have nothing to offer you except for this video of me yapping. And it just got really dark because I'm under an overpass right now. But as I said earlier, once you hit your 30s, man, your priorities just shift. Like, yes, I want to be fit. Yes, I want to be strong. Yes, I want to look good in the mirror. That's obviously a thing. But I also want to live my life. This is not a time to be giving up everything and not eating certain foods and blah, 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 blah. Like, yes, there's things you should stay away from for sure. Everything in moderation, as we all know. But I want to live, man. Like when my friends come into town, I want to take them out somewhere cool and not worry about how many calories that I'm eating. You know, that's one of those things where I'm going to have my goals and those goals will be put aside for a day or two when things happen, you know, holidays happen. I'm going to enjoy the time with my family. I'm going to have fun. I'm going to eat those cookies that my wife's mom makes me because damn, they're good. And I don't care what my goals are at that moment in time. I'm going to eat those cookies. So all of this to say perfection is overrated. Anybody who has gone down that road before can probably attest to that. Perfection is overrated because when you're in that mindset trying to attain perfection, you never will. You will never get to that level of perfection that you see others at because you're just constantly comparing yourself to others in order to define what that perfection is. So maybe it's time that you define what good enough is. You know, what is good enough? What is enough to make you happy? If it is reaching that like crazy 4% body fat, then man, go for it. But just know this, if you try to sustain that forever, you will fail. That's not normal. You know, like that's just not normal. So what my advice to all of you is, being somebody that has yo-yoed back and forth, is just find what makes you happy. Get yourself healthy. That's what matters. Listen to an actual doctor when it comes to that. Don't listen to some bro that's telling you need to do this, this, or this, because chances are they really don't know anything, just like me. And that's why I take advice from my doctor and not from some bro on YouTube. And yes, I do see the irony in the fact that I'm telling you this over a video on YouTube. And if you're feeling overwhelmed by the expectations of fitness culture because you're scrolling through Instagram, you're watching YouTube videos, and you're seeing these people at the peak of, you know, human physiology, and you're wondering how you could ever get to be like them, well, just remember that you're not them. Get to the highest level of you instead. Get to the most comfortable and confident level of you and find out how you can sustain that instead. Don't keep comparing yourself to the dudes on Instagram and things like that, because honestly, you'll never get there, and you'll just keep putting yourself through the stress and the mental anguish of why you can't get there. And that might actually deter you from, you know, getting healthy in the first place, which is what this is all about. This shouldn't be about reaching somebody else's goal physique. This should be about getting healthy and reaching your own goals. So yet again, I'm going to get off my high horse here because I need to go and get a protein shake in because my stomach is literally eating itself from the inside out. I once again forgot to bring any food or protein shake or anything to the gym with me, and my stomach is just like doing this right now after that workout. But let me know down in the comments, what are some of the most like ridiculous, unrealistic fitness expectations that you've heard lately? Because I kind of want to do a video just roasting some of them. And I don't know, it just seems like it'd be a fun thing to do because there's a lot of weird stuff that I've scrolled past on Instagram lately. And Instagram does seem to be the biggest culprit for whatever reason. I don't see as much of it on TikTok. I've found some really cool pages on TikTok lately. But Instagram's just been, I don't know. There's been a lot of crazy bro science that has just gone way out of left field at this point. And just remember, this whole fitness and health thing, it's not just about looking better. It's about feeling better. Mentally, physically, you want to feel better. And that's where I'm headed. That's my goal is like I said, I want to look better in the mirror. I want to fit into the clothes that I want to wear, but I want to feel better too. I want to wake up more energized. I don't want my joints to hurt when I'm old. I want to delay things like arthritis, which is probably going to happen to me anyways because I'm a guitar player. But I want to feel better. That is my end goal. And powerlifting, I want to lift a lot of heavy shit. So let's be real, right? But yeah. That is it. I'm gonna go get my protein shake in, probably get some food and take my dog for a walk. I hope you all get a good lift in today, and I hope you all have a great whatever time it is for you today. So until next time, peace and love, and I will talk to you in the next one.